I thought I'd do a little update video. So I've been designing these um, coil holders for a new drive, for the new pulse drive, the timed pulse drive circuit, and synchronicity seems to have come into play because a few years ago I made a device using these laminations that I had laser cut. Right, these were some laminations, and I disassembled that old thing which I don't use anymore, and all of the steel laminations are all in this pot noodle container. And I'm thinking, hang on a minute, I can use those because I want to. Well, I modelled this 3D magnet holder to put magnets in, and the coil sits in the middle like this. So the coil goes in the middle like that, right? And then there's magnets that goes at the back, and I thought, well, I need more coupling around here so that when the coil it pulses, it sends a positive, say a south field coming up, and the interaction with the magnets will send a negative pole on the other magnets to attract, so that when this is pushing the rotor, this one's actually pulling on the other to amplify the actual drive circuit. So I made these, right, and I couldn't really get these laminations in properly, because if I put them in here, oh actually the wrong way around, if I put them in here they fit in, but they were sticking up a bit at the top, plus I was getting too much cogging on the drive circuit because they tend to sit quite high up. So I went back to SketchUp and I remodeled them. So these two I printed out. I've only printed two out, ended up being basically scrap material, but I can still probably use them for something. So I remodeled it and I made these little troughs. So I made these little troughs that go around the back. I don't know if you can see very well. Screwdriver can probably show you. So these little grooves that go in the back, the bottom there, down there, and so the laminations can sit down inside there. Unfortunately, a little bit hard to get the damn things in. It's very tight. It's a tight fit. So I've updated my SketchUp model, 3D printing them now. So I added an extra 0.5mm to the slots so that I could get them in a bit easier. And obviously, when these go in, the magnets will drop in there. And yeah, so the magnets make a hell of a difference to amplify the actual drive circuit, as I found out on my previous build. Because when my magnets got overheated, I lost power. So they definitely work. The same amount of metal mass there, but the magnets lost power simply because they got overheated by the coil and the round magnets. So they do work. Just by losing magnetic flux, I was able to determine that. So anyway, I'm 3D printing some new ones. So I've only printed 3 of these so far. So they're pretty light. I mean, it's mostly air in there. There's gaps and holes and everything, so that it doesn't use a lot of plastic. I can probably still use them for something at some point. But anyway, so just a little update. So it's synchronicity, how these laminations I had laser cut a few years back ended up being useful for the project. And oh yeah, I did have to cut a bit off them though, because they look a bit long, so I just trimmed off the ends with my trusty wire snip thingies. I just trimmed a bit off, and they work great. So this gives me a little bit of back coupling once they're fitted in there. I'm not going to put it in because it won't go in. These are too tight. I've tried to force it in, and I ended up, because the walls of the plastic so thin, I ended up splitting the plastic. And this one actually got damaged, and I glued it back together again, as you can probably see. This wall, because it's complete wall, got broken away, and I stuck it back on there. Because I'm not going to waste them, I'll still use them for something. I mean, I could use them as a coil. I could use them as a coil holder without the laminations, for example. So it's still useful for something. I did destroy one completely. Oh, I'm not going to show you in there. That bin's a right mess. So anyway, just a little update. And incidentally, I wound these coils. I must have wound them, what, 6, maybe, probably 5 years ago, 3 years ago. And I figured, why not use them? I mean, they fit perfectly in here. They fit great. So I use these. I was going to use the longer coils, my flat coils that are over there. I was going to use these, but the problem with using these is they're actually a bit too tall, and I would have to feed them in from the back. And I thought, well, I'm not going to fart about putting the holders in, then have to turn the whole generator upside down to slot the coils in. I thought that, plus I have to wire them up, and that's going to be a headache. So I thought, well, no, let's just use these things. Give them a job, because they've all got exactly the same windings on, 310 turns, and they'll all be balanced out. So I thought, I'll use these, might as well make use of them, because I wound these for a previous job and they never got used. They ended up not being used for anything. I'm not going to waste not, want not. So yeah, just to update,